Hi everybody, I'm Jack, and this is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me today. Well, it's just another quiet weekend on the mountain here in Costa Rica. Getting a little bit excited though, because I'm going down to the beach on Monday, and I'm looking forward to that. Going to be down there for 3 nights. I'm going to see some friends, got a couple of meetings, an exciting meeting with a designer, going to do some designs for me, and yeah, I'm just looking forward to getting out of here and shaking it up a little bit. As always, I'm going to get off the subject of food a little bit today. And I do these types of videos. What I'm going to talk about today is breath, and breath being the anchor in life. Now, I mostly do raw vegan, food-related videos, but on the weekends I get a little bit off subject. So if you haven't been to the channel before, I'd appreciate if you'd hit that subscribe button, click on the little bell, and check send notifications. So you'll stay subscribed to the channel. And to all of you, I'd kind of appreciate if you'd share this video. I think this video could go out to a lot of different people. And let me just clarify, not because I'm tooting my own horn or I think this is going to be Jack doing an epic video. This is basic stuff, but this is really good stuff. This is stuff that's just so simple that can help you out in a lot of practical ways in life. If you've noticed, probably over the last 4, 5, 6 weeks, my weekend videos have, it's to some extent, most of them have been somewhat of a reflection of my new meditation practice, or the revamping of my meditation practice, which I completely gutted and started over on recently. And everything has been about mindfulness pretty much so far. Everything's been about the breath, and just getting a lot of practical applications out of there. And I'm getting a lot of practical applications that I feel led to share, because like I say, don't get caught up in words. People get caught up. It's almost like you gotta kind of like with kids, when you got to sneak something good in, like you don't tell them it's good for them or their brains will rebel. People tend to rebel against this word meditation. I mean, they have assumptions about it. They figure things. They have already ideas like, I like this, I don't like this in their head. And many times they've never tried it. Meditation is a lot of different things to a lot of different people. But if you don't like this word, like I say, just simple mindfulness will do. I'm going to start off. I want to read you a little quote, a little passage from Thich Nhat Hanh, Vietnamese Buddhist monk who I've been following for a number of years, and mindfulness is a big part of his thought process. Breath is the bridge which connects life to consciousness, which unites your body to your thoughts. Whenever your mind becomes scattered, use your breath as the means to take hold of your mind again. Everything is about that breath, and that's the reason I want to share this today, and using the breath as an anchor. When I do a formal practice now, I sit in the mornings, but you don't necessarily even have to have a formal sitting down or a meditation. I'm kind of trying to take this over in my day-to-day life and make life constant meditation, because that's what mindfulness is. It's about coming back to the present moment. It's about living in the present moment. It's about focusing. I talked about in recent videos like multitasking, and about how that's mostly a folly. Some people can do it to some extent, but mostly when we focus on a bunch of different things, we don't do any one thing well. So that mindfulness is just always bringing us back, and that's how that anchor is. And the breath is that anchor that we come back to. Anytime you have a situation, you can always come back to the breath. You don't have to do some deep formal breathing practice. I don't do that. When I'm doing what I'm saying is I do some breath work, but when I'm meditating, it's just about observing your breath. This morning I was sitting in a meditation. It was simply, and we really got into observing the breath, where it goes into the nostrils. But all it ever is observing. Basically being aware you're breathing in, basically aware you're breathing out. And when you're focused on that, the only place you can be right now is in the now. Had another quote written. I don't even remember where I got this. I just saw this written down and I made it in my notes, and it talks about how quality of breath equals quality of life. Now, I won't even get, like I say, I'm not going to get into the actual breathing and how we don't breathe properly, and like doing breathing exercises and how the breathing exercises will help you. That could be another video. But for here, one thing I've noticed is even just the awareness of the breath Okay, for what I'm saying is when I'm practicing meditation, or when I'm like just trying to bring myself back to the moment, it's not about like breathing in a certain way, or it's not like making an effort to do deep breaths, but as I'm aware of my breath becomes deeper and slower, which is a good thing, because you can diffuse a lot of situations, like your emotions, your state of being, everything. Think about it. Think about when you get angry. Think about when you get scared. Think about just how your body is reacting. Think about how you breathe. Here's a good one, really good one. Think about how you breathe when you get scared or angry or anxious. You see somebody, have you ever seen somebody just amping up, getting angrier and angrier? You can almost hear them, and they're taking these super shallow breaths, and they're not really getting much into their lungs. Anytime in these situations, stressful situations, whatever, all you got to do is take a minute, get out of that situation. Even you don't have to even walk away, even if it's just at your desk at work, even if it's within the house with other people around. Just being aware of your breath, going back to your breath. Okay, maybe if you're angry or you're scared or in that situation, maybe you actually do focus on your breath. But the next time you have one of these emotions, try this and notice how, by focusing and being aware of your breath, notice how that anger seems to dissipate. Notice how that fear seems to dissipate. Notice how a lot of people talk about control. And that's like, basically it's a very easy method of control that you have right at your fingertips every day. You can diffuse situations. You can a lot of times keep yourself from blowing up at other people, having that meltdown. And you can just make your day a lot more calm and peaceful. If you can do this a number of times throughout the day. Anytime it doesn't take 2 seconds. 2 seconds. You can, it takes more than 2 seconds, but literally, if you've got it 30 seconds or a minute, just kind of be aware of your breath, bring yourself back. What I was going to say here is one thing that's helpful too, to get you started. Well, obviously, when you have these situations of anxiety, of distressed emotion, I would like to call it, any emotion that just kind of brings you that distress, you can tune into that breathing. I talked about, and this gets a little closer to the meditation part of it, but as you're breathing, you can picture this like I did a meditation, and I talked about it recently on impermanence, that everything changes. Everything changes. You can just think these thoughts. You don't have to meditate. As you're being aware of your breath, as you're slowly breathing in and out, maybe you're in a situation, maybe like I say, you're having something bad is going on, you're stressed, you're angry, you're whatever. Tell yourself as you're breathing, you're slowing down your breath, you're taking more control of your feelings. Tell yourself this will pass. No matter what's happening to you, this will pass. But the opposite of that is, even if good things are happening to you, that will pass too, because things are constantly changing. Trying to see, I just had kind of a hodgepodge of notes of things I wanted to mention. Don't really see them, but yeah, I would just say listen, use these little tips and tricks. This is phenomenal. I didn't have the presence of mind back in the day to use it enough, but I've been using some of this stuff because I've been reading Thich Nhat Hanh for 25 years at least. So I've been aware of the mindfulness, and I've dabbled off and on with it, even back in the days when I was bartending and working in a restaurant that was just like psychotic. The amount of people, if you've done restaurant work, you probably can't even relate to this place. Just so busy all the time, 2 and 3 hour waits, so stuff was crazy. And I would use this stuff. I don't know, it just didn't take 100% to where I really set myself into a practice or a mental or a way of thinking to use it on a regular basis, but I'd have this happen all the time. I'd have stressful situation at work, people being assholes, and I would just be able to, as soon as I could get about maybe it was just walking back in the walk-in cooler to pretend like I was getting something, but as long as I could get 15, 20 seconds, I would walk back in there and just go to my breath. Just simply go to my breath. And even back then, being a drunk, eating the kind of foods I eat, so I didn't have the clarity I do now. Even back then, I could diffuse these situations. And I'd come back and people would think, what'd you do? Did you go get high on something in the walk-in cooler? Or did you go take a drink or something? I'm like, And I'm thinking to myself, no, I just went and diffused the situation. All I did was go in and do a little bit of deep breathing, being aware of my breath. I know I'm kind of going back and forth across that line there about actually doing deep breathing and being aware of your breath. And just to clarify a little bit there, like I say, this isn't some sort of meditation instructional video, but like usually when I'm sitting in meditation, and I consider myself way a beginner. You're not, you become aware of the breath, but you don't try to breathe in a certain way. But as I just said a few minutes ago, for me anyway, as I'm aware of the breath, my breath tends to deepen and get longer, which coincidentally brings me back down, brings me back into a calm place. You can control it all. You can control it all. It's right there. Like I said a minute ago, it's your fingertips, but all you got to do is reach out to it. Conclusion, I'm getting getting so much out of this meditation practice this time around. So I would just say, look into it. If you're even remotely interested, there's a lot of free instructional videos on YouTube. I've been using Calm, an app like some people have, and I can kind of understand that. Some people just think of that as counterintuitive to use an app on a phone for mindfulness, calmness, whatever. Like I say, I'm retooling my meditation practice, and this is a nice tool that's actually really helped me. So I'm not going to be stubborn and say, no, I won't use technology for my meditation practice, but probably, it's probably going to be kind of the training wheels, and then that will go eventually. But I think as of this morning, I've been meditating for about 40 days now, and totally can tell the difference. So like I say, look into it. It can be just as simple as sitting. People have their ideas, you're going to go sit and be bored for 30, 40 minutes, an hour, everybody's sitting all this time. Sometimes it can be so beneficial just to sit with yourself for 5 or even 10 minutes. So anyhow, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up. And like I say, if you liked it, please share it around a little bit. And I hope you guys are having a wonderful weekend. Love you. Peace.